A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's just right in time for AFarmers Media Farm Drive Show with me, Brian Wanda, and of course,
and me, Masi Kemunto.
It's always good to have you around, Masi.
I should be heading home right now.
Oh, wow. Congrats for that. Umeenda kupokea nini? Max za KCPE?
Nenda kuangalia watu walipata nini KCPE.
Yes. Ungeconvert zako zikuwa pesa ungekula lunch wapi?
Today's topic is we're not going there, but at least maybe probably ningeenda pale KFC, nikule streetways probably. Yes, na nisipata tafa ya kurudi nyumbani hata nikikanyaga nyanya za mtu nisipate pesa kununua nayo.
Oh. Somebody told me that wange convert pesa max zao zikuwe pesa. Wangerudia tu ikuwe fair waende pesa yao yenye walitumia school fees. But it's quite an interesting one. So today, Masi, is on a Monday.
It's a Monday, yes.
And being on a Monday, we're coming from a weekend.
Yes.
What stood out for you for over this weekend?
Over the weekend, what stood? I wanted to say it's a slapping 2022, but I'm not going there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but nothing really soon. It was just a normal weekend. Went to church, and it was Monday again. Yeah, since I was on work, I was here on Saturday, so the weekend moved quite really fast.
Okay.
And I found myself here again this morning.
Wow, interesting. Yes. So of course, getting into this conversation, I'm sure you will interact na maybe unga, ugali mali, will interact na maybe mayai mali. And you know, si unajua zio toka they come directly from farmers.
Yeah. And
at some point they might pass through a few processes here and there.
Just like a few processes, like for eggs.
Yes.
Don't think they go or they undertake any process at all. It's just apart from feeding the chickens and waiting for them to lay eggs and you transporting them to the sellers. Yeah.
Can I interest you? One can be packaging and repackaging.
For eggs.
Unaweza enda upate maybe in a supermarket. There's some sort of plastic transparent container where maybe wameweka mayai kama 6 ama 12. You know, that's value addition right there.
Yeah.
And yesterday I was passing through one of those supermarkets and they were selling 6 eggs at the cost of 110 shillings.
6 eggs.
Let me do you some simple mathematics. 6 eggs. 6 eggs are going for 110 shillings. That means one is retailing at around 19 shillings. You know, Mirara, who is a poultry farmer, sells these eggs at something at 11 shillings.
11 shillings.
Yeah, 1 for 11 shillings. So you can now imagine how much they make.
It's
8 shillings.
8 shillings.
8 shillings per egg. Once you break it down, you know that's one egg, right? Within one tray, you have 30 bob. That 30 times 8, that's 240.
That's around 240.
Right? That's only one crate. One crate, sorry. Sijui may happen over this weekend.
You tell me. So, actually, you've not told me how your weekend went by.
Relax. I'm gonna take you there. So 240 shillings on. Actually, you know, this 11 bob is even so much. Mirror was telling me at some point they even sell at 10 bob. But let's go with the 8
but
bob.
Like an year ago, let's say Ali, not even Ali. Just last year, sometime last year,
yes,
a crate of egg used to go for 300 bob.
Yeah, 300 bob. So
which means at what price does Mirara sell the eggs?
Exactly, 8 bob.
8 bob.
They sell at 8 bob. One egg. So I'm trying to sell at 11 bob because right now that's what it's retailing at. So 240 shillings per crate of egg. That goes through hiyo ni farm gate. Kutoka katikati ya farm gate na kuuzia the final person who is going to buy it. So now upper what is considered is transport and storage,
packaging.
Yeah. And then packaging. This is the cost that goes in there. Transport, storage, and packaging.
Per crate.
Per crate.
And you can't just transport like one. You do like 100.
Exactly. 100.
Like minimum 100. That's 24,000.
That's 24,000. just 100 crates, just 100, 24,000 shillings.
That's transportation, packaging, and processing. Packaging, yeah.
Yeah. Now imagine if you're a farmer directly doing that. So 24 shillings on top of the total sales that you made on your eggs from the beginning. So normally, that's where value addition comes in. You decide that, and you know, value addition is one of the simplest things to even talk about.
Yeah.
But then it's one of those things that people undermine in terms of even the process of doing it. So we want to go with this crate of eggs, 240 shillings.
Per crate.
You can opt to sell these eggs if you're selling 100 crates.
100 crates.
Times 11 shillings.
That's 11.
That's
11,000.
Actually, it's 11,000.
11,000. No, 1100.
1100.
Yes.
That's 100 eggs. The 100 crates. No. It's 11 crates times 30 eggs times 100.
Okay.
Right? That's 33.
That's 33,000.
That's 33,000.
So if I'm Mirara and I want to do it directly.
And you want to do it directly?
From my farm to the supermarket.
Exactly.
Or not even, leave alone the supermarket, maybe I have some constant customers and that's the constant price that I'm selling them at.
Yeah.
So I'll do it from my farm to my customers.
Your farm to your customers. Yeah, exactly.
So you take my 33,000.
33,000 is what he's selling 100 crates of eggs at the farm gate. But then if Mirara decides to go for value addition and maybe supplying to supermarkets, he adds the 24,000 shillings on top because we said one crate gives them 240 shillings extra times 100 crates.
100 crates, yeah, that's 24.
Right? That's 24,000. Right? You add 24,000 on top here. You have 57,000. This is 57,000 that you've added value. But then now, what these people don't tell you, and most business people don't tell you, is that in this 24,000, there is the cost that comes with it. You're going to do the transport, you're going to do the storage, you're going to do the packaging. Now, today, we want to discuss what Mirara needs to think about before thinking about value addition, because I think more of it is we are fixed to the total amount that comes here. So we want to discuss this bridge here. Yeah. We're on this other side of my eggs. I have the eggs. Exactly. And us crossing to the bridge to value addition. Absolutely. Okay. So today we want to venture into the business, the art of business. Beyond, you know, these are two different businesses. One is the business of rearing chicken and selling eggs. The other one now is value addition by itself. So Mirara needs to know, for example, where he's going to sell, maybe a supermarket. That supermarket needs to make an order. But you know, when Mirara decides to take these eggs to the supermarket, this means that he's going to reduce the price. Yeah. Because the supermarket needs to make profit at the end of the day. Exactly. And I'm trying to say that if a supermarket is still selling at the same price, and maybe Mirara wants to remain competitive a little bit, he might decide to reduce the costs, or the retailing cost, to maybe instead of 110 for 6 eggs, you can do even 90 shillings for 6 eggs. You see? Now, today I want to discuss all those factors in here. You see, this is a revenue stream, but then there are things attached to it. Of course, you can be part of this conversation of value addition and things that you need to consider before doing a value addition here on Africa Farmers on Facebook, Africa Farmers Club. We have Africa Farmers Club. It's a platform you can join. Exactly. If you have any questions, just post them there and you will be answered immediately. We're also on Instagram and Twitter of Farmers, and we also live on YouTube right now at AFarmers Media. Yes. And of course, today, as we said, let's now put our heads in Mirara's thoughts and how you can make an extra coin practically. And the basic essence of everything. Let's start from how things are done, from the mind to doing it now.
Now, practically to the practical part of it.
Exactly. I was home this weekend, and every time I go home, I listen to different farmers. Home is in Timau, in Meru County, and every time I listen to farmers, and you ask them, why did you start this business? Some say maybe it's panic that the rains are here, and they need to plant something. That's one thing. Some say that I had some cash, I needed to invest, I didn't know a way to create a business.
Thought of this as a way to investing my money.
Exactly. And the biggest problem that has always been there with our farmers is the mentality of starting businesses. If the business is not all about making money,
then you're not doing it.
Yeah, in agribusiness, you need to make money. Either way.
There's no plan B, there's no way out. Yeah. It's either you're making money or not, you're not doing it at all.
Exactly. Now, in very many things that maybe our farmers, we farmers do, we might be business minded, but forget the science bit of it. You know, and we might want to talk about value addition. You see how much you've calculated. Mirara selling 100 crates.
That's around 57,000.
Right?
More, like the total, the cross of it is 57,000.
Exactly. Once it adds value, 24,000. The cost of once you sell the eggs, just to people go add value, is 33,000. Now 57,000 is the amount of money he can make by selling eggs, maybe quote unquote, in a supermarket. Now, these are things you need to understand. First is the market. As I've always said, market is the most basic thing. Remember, the end goal is always make money.
So you have to figure out, understand your market.
Exactly. Understand the market, how it consumes eggs.
Because we have, let's say, for example, we have Mirara and we have Mercy.
Yes.
Mirara wants to do value addition.
Yeah.
And this is by selling eggs to the supermarket.
Yeah.
And Mercy is just selling the eggs in the local shops. Because there's no way you're going to sell them at 6 eggs at 90 bob.
Exactly.
It's not possible.
Exactly.
You're going to sell, like, for example, a person from just my local village that I'm going to pack for you these eggs in a plastic container, and I sell them six of them at 110 shillings. So we have two different minded people here. We have Mirara and we have Mercy.
Yeah. And Mercy, actually, even before you can talk about even the market, Mercy, we need to understand one thing, that the art of producing eggs and selling them and the art of adding value on them are two different things.
Yes.
Are very two different things. And I think farmers need to understand that. You need to detach these two. The moment the eggs are out of your farm, you're in another totally separate business. You know? Yes, you did the science. You've produced 100 crates
of eggs.
Now, getting out to the market is another science now.
Because it's a journey, actually.
It's another journey.
Yes.
No money comes easy in agriculture. I won't lie to you. No money comes easy.
I think actually, these 100 crates of eggs, the car, whatever means you're using, in a zanguka, and all of them.
Exactly. All those things. Handling, there's so much science behind it. And now, part of the science, one of the key aspects is not understanding the market. Understand, for example, we want to take them to maybe a supermarket, and you need to understand, for example, how people do consume these eggs,
and how the eggs in the supermarket are like.
Exactly.
I don't know how to put it, because we have eggs, kuna zile mayai za super na kuna zile mayai za duka. Quality, it's very different.
Exactly. You need to understand that, and understand what moves. For example, as you say, the quality, size is something you need to consider. How clean, even basic cleanliness of that.
Yes, of course, cleanliness is a must.
Exactly.
Package the eggs, they are usually clean, clean.
Very clean.
But if you go and buy my shop, you just given eggs, because now that's the value of it.
And it's very important, Mercy, to remember that even as you do that, how do people buy the eggs in supermarkets? Do they buy as a crate? do they buy as a small package of maybe 6 eggs?
12 eggs.
How do they do that? That's packaging. You know, understanding how the market takes the package, not the art of packaging itself, how the package that moves.
It's like a 6-pack, 12, exactly. 30.
Now, once you sit down and think the market that you're targeting, the market the supermarket is targeting, is, for example, people, kuna zile supermarket kubwa na zile ndogo. So they're going to give you different sizes of trays and containers that you can package. Kuna wale I think the list that they give you is 6 eggs, is a container of 6 eggs. So 2, those are 3. 3 each row, in each row,
3 rows, then columns.
Yeah. Now 3 by 2. Now the reason also they do that is because maybe the consumer who comes buys them
from the supermarket,
they want to put in a shopping bag. But then remember, the tray does not, the big tray does not give them that
the 31,
that convenience. So now that's part of the reason. Mtu ataki kutoka, but they at some point unatokaga na crate ya mayai
somewhere and you're like, wow,
exactly.
It's just a risk because you might fall and all these eggs naendanga tuziki spread everywhere.
All those things. And again, you need to also remember that, for example, even the people coming to buy, they're buying on low budgets. Yeah. Ataki mayai more at once, maybe because they cannot afford them.
Or they don't consume as much.
Yeah, they don't consume as much. Yeah, exactly. Even the consuming routine. So it's always very good to understand the packaging of how you're going to put some of these products.
Actually, I think another thing is you also need to understand what type of people go actually to buy eggs from the supermarket.
Yeah.
Because we have like 2 different, because personally I'll buy eggs from a shop.
Yeah.
A different person cannot stand the eggs from a shop.
Exactly.
So you used to understand what are these type of people, like where do they fall under, which category,
Yeah.
which is their spending, like how much do they roughly spend per week on eggs.
Yeah, very good to understand. And it's really interesting that, remember, Mercy, once you place your container, your packaging right there, remember shelves, the way they're positioned, it's one item. Different suppliers, one item. So what makes you stand out?
Yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
we have different brands.
Yeah,
like 4 different,
exactly.
but the same shelf. They don't like put them separately.
Yeah,
they're just on the same shelf.
Yeah.
So you have to have this one particular thing that when I come and look at that shelf, then I'll be like, wow, I'm going to pick this.
Exactly. So how attractive?
Yes, how attractive
how competitive
your packaging is.
Yeah.
And because it's a competition.
It's a competition. And you know, one advantage Mirara has above other business traders is the fact that you can play around with prices also. You know, the price tag that's always below the commodity, instead of 110, you can place at 90, 100.
Or just one thing, can I surprise you? You can have an item, let's say eggs. Mine I'm selling at 108 bob on the shelf, and a different person is selling at 110.
Exactly.
Trust me, my 108 are going to sell.
Exactly.
It's just a 2 bob difference, and these days I think these 1 bobs don't have value, but people actually think now this is cheaper. They say like it's a 20 bob difference.
I think it's called psychology selling. I think there's some sort of that. Yeah,
it's the same way you can sell a product at 999 bob. The fact that it has not reached 1,000, I can buy it. Have this motivation that get to see thou.
Yeah, true. It's not 1,000 bob. At the end of the day, you're gonna give out 1,000.
1,000 bob. Yes.
You're given 1 shilling and doesn't have any value much as the past years. So that alone, the pricing, the packaging, and of course, even the type of eggs. Are they big in size? Well, well, you know. Yeah,
you have to understand.
So you need to understand
eggs and other type of eggs, and there's one which the price is actually a little bit higher because they're natural or the color. But for example, I can give for example my sisters. They love the kienyeji because of the color.
Yeah, the color, the yellow color.
It's yellow, like it's this yellow, like yellow ilenye yellow. Yes.
Exactly.
They're like, "Ay, mom, ingine si mayai." See, they're like, these are fake eggs and these are real eggs.
Yes.
Eggs should be yellow, and that's what we learn in school.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. Like, what type are they?
Exactly. Now, one last thing that we need to consider is the consistency of the frequency of visiting that. Or, well, let me simplify it. Kuweka kwa shelf kila wakati.
Watoto wasikose.
Yeah, mtu wasikose. Because I somehow thought that well, it doesn't matter much the kind of things people buy around shelves until I came to see that people follow brands. People follow brands. And once they believe in your brand,
then that's it.
It's like bread. Once you're going, tell me, how do you buy your bread, buddy? How do you buy your bread?
I have a specific brand.
You have a specific brand?
Yes. I have a particular specific type of brand. Just that's it. Like, it's the way, maybe, I don't know if it's not the packaging really, but there's this thing that I have to stick to this brand. It's the best and it's what I like. It comes out like how I like it.
Yeah, exactly. Let me ask you. Brown bread, white bread?
White.
White bread. You made your favorite white bread is not there. But then there's the brown bread of that. And then there is the white bread of the alternative. What will you pick?
I'll choose the brown bread.
The brown
my
bread.
Brand, yes.
People follow brands.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. And the reason for that is they somehow believe in your quality. Even the pricing might influence that. So remember, you need to be consistent. Because it reaches a point where people now, once you cannot supply continuously now, people now going good to the alternative.
Because I reach to a shelf, my brand, white is not there, brown is not there, and I eat bread. Let's say just in the morning I have to take bread. I just have to take the alternative.
Yes.
Tomorrow I come and find my bread is not there.
Yeah.
Trust me, the third day if I come and I find it there, I'm going to take my alternative.
And I'm trying to think, Mercy, once you take the alternative, let's talk about now and the alternative as another aspect that you need to know about the market. How easy is it to get the alternative or your competitor?
Like, you just check on, I have my brand, then we have these closest competitor, like they're just the same level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The branding is close to yours.
Branding is almost the same, the size, how it looks like, and everything.
Yes.
The pricing is almost the same. That's what I look for to find an alternative.
Exactly. Always remember, you're replaceable in the market. People are not so loyal to you in as much. And once you know you're replaceable, this is where you bring in some very good market advantage and market understanding. Understand everything about close to everything about your competitor. And I think that's one of those things that we farmers are very friendly at. Remember, this is a business, right? But we are a little bit friendly in how we even compete with other farmers in different products. It's always good to, even if you're friends with your fellow farmers, it's always very good to understand that they can take over your market.
Of course. It's very, very possible. It's
very, very possible.
Because they know how I do it. Maybe in my village, like, I'll say my eggs do sell a lot, and people look like upon me. I want to be like, Mercy, her eggs do sell, her packaging is perfect. But they are like, here, just a little bit down, up or two, closely. If they get a chance of selling anything to one of my markets or to one of my consumers, then they are doing it perfectly well.
Exactly.
And they will ensure that they are better. The following day that they deliver the same goods, they ensure that they are better than mine.
And my friend, let me tell you one interesting thing. Once somebody shifts from your brand,
that's it.
It takes a lot of energy back to attract
that.
Exactly. To bring them back. So instead of having that energy lost, make sure that you can produce at with consistency.
Just consistent.
Quality, quantity, convenience.
Everything. Packaging. Don't confuse your consumers with packaging. Today is yellow, tomorrow is brown. Because, I'm used to colors, for example, and not reading the name. So maybe, let's say your brand color is yellow. I'll stick to that yellow. If I reach these shelves, I'm going to pick the yellow package.
Exactly.
And if tomorrow I come, you've changed to red, I will accommodate it a little bit and say, okay, now we're on red. I pick red. And then, like, after a few weeks, you've changed to brown, then I'll be like,
exactly.
I need something consistent. I want to stick to one. And with human beings is if you've changed the color of the branding, this means you've changed the quality. I don't know if it's for me or anything, but if anything to me changes the branding and the packaging, I feel like the quality of the content inside has actually changed.
Might have changed also.
Yes.
It's really interesting. So understand your competitor, understand the market. Now, let's now look into going back. We're from the market. We've understood how people do buy. Who are they? Who is my direct competitor, indirect competitor? Because kama si mayai, well, pia smoky kuna option pia. People are doing
that's why people
the alternate
sell smoky
exactly
eggs.
Exactly, yeah.
Because if I don't get eggs, then I'll probably eat smokies.
Exactly.
Unless I'm allergic to them. Of which it's rare numbers.
Exactly.
So we have an indirect competitor that you should actually know and be aware of.
Be aware
and to
of
be
them.
like, okay, I smoking a maize in England, not even close, but you have this one indirect close competitor that can replace you anytime.
Or ground, hey, people are shifting ground
from eggs to
smokies. Somehow, funny enough, unapandisha huku. Okay, sawa, baki na pesa yako huko.
Actually, the alternative is actually more. The price is actually more, but these days I find it difficult if I'm going to buy my pasua. I'd rather take smoky.
Yeah.
Because I feel like now this 5 bob that has added is a lot. Let me just add another 5 bob and it is 30 bob in Nicholas smoky, and that's how it happens.
You can imagine, right?
Yeah.
So of course now we've talked about that. Now we're from the market. And we've talked about packaging. Let's now go to the packaging now. In terms of numbers and the branding. Now, once I always want to think behind coming back from the market, because again, that's the key motivator. Now then coming back. And once you think about packaging, understand these containers that you buy. Transparent. Today we have said we're packaging in a 6-pack, right? Once you have the 6-pack, understand the cost of buying one that 6-pack. That container.
The cost of just getting that container.
Exactly. And it's always very good to understand that there is economics of scale. Ukinunua tukiwa twingi, you reduce the amount of money you spend on one unit. Right?
That's true.
And still you're narrowing down, una push, you're squeezing the cost of value addition. You're squeezing it, you're reducing it.
When you just buy in bulk.
Once you buy in bulk. So once you buy in wholesale, it's better. Once you buy even from the manufacturer, it's even way better. Exactly. And that is
once you are in a position to produce your own, it's way much better.
It's way much better, of course.
But for that one, it just takes some time.
Exactly.
But if you are in a position to produce your own, then you're going to save like a lot.
Yes. Now, once you have that, it's really interesting what you've said. If you can create yours, for a startup, it's always advisable to pick one niche. Kama ni kuuza mayai, uza mayai. But then know how you're going to work around the packages. Kama zitakuwa delivered, it's better. Kama utanunua tu, they're even way better. Ukiingia now to the business of creating those things, it needs you to also understand that things zako utatoa wapi raw material, vitu kama hizo wenye utazitengeneza, which might even bring even more business
because you can decide to sell them.
Exactly, you can decide to sell
other people.
Exactly. But for a startup, we always advised to
buy from the manufacturer.
Actually, yeah. Do something that is easily workable for you. That doesn't engage you so much. Don't go far away from the main point of focus. Your point of focus is adding value to your eggs from the farm. So once you have that, once you bought maybe from a wholesale or from the manufacturer directly, now understand branding, sio maybe one graphics zenye zitakuwa hapo ndani. Again, this brings you back to the market.
Alafu alternative
wako ameniniaje ama
brandaji, yeah, because some people actually buy. It's not some people, like most of the people, yes, you go to buy something and the branding itself can actually make you buy that product. From the way it has been packaged, from the way it looks like, it just captures your eyes and you're like, no, I'm going to take this product because it just looks nice. I love the way these tins looks like, and I love the way it looks like.
Yes,
exactly.
Now once you have that in mind, now go back to one of the most basics sasa. Well, logistics. Okay, umefika pale pa package, unajua tunarudi nyuma so logistics kutoka kwa farm hadi mali una package zama, if you're packaging within the farm, it's even more
better.
Well, hautakuwa na pesa rent sana.
Because just get them from the farm, package them and stop. Wait just them to be delivered to the market.
Exactly. So if you can do that, that's way better. Package ndani, take them to the market. Jua sasa vitu za logistics, jua that these are very highly fragile eggs, for example.
So transportation, careful how I'm going to transport it, how I'm going to package them before they reach the market, because any slight mistake, losses on you.
Losses on you. Losses on you. So jua venye utazifanya hivyo. And of course, now from there, it's always good to think about of course the logistics expense. What can carry what. I willing to go the cheapest way. Look for what works. Cheapness can be one of them, but then don't always prioritize cheap,
because sometimes cheap is expensive.
At some point cheap is expensive. Now already we are here where now we are packaging stuff, and we are about to think about selling them. Because now we're going to actually take a very short commercial break, but when we'll be back, we now want to talk about things like location, where you're going to locate your business, of course the production cost of everything, and then understand the job itself of value addition, because well, value addition can be tiresome. Can be tiresome, it can be hectic.
And as I said before, one slight mistake, losses on you. It just takes you back to square one again.
Exactly. So Mercy, before we can take this short commercial break, kwani kulinyesha?
Yes.
Oh, it did rain.
Yes, it's rained.
Yeah. The rains came in big numbers, small numbers.
I think it started before kwetu, like what I'm receiving or what my grandma is telling me now. I'm talking about kwetu because huko si kwetu. It rained. It started raining on Thursday or Friday, but the rain is now coming in. Sijui nitasema ni kama imeamua. See the way the jua ilikuwa kali, and that version of mvua.
Yes.
Like that day it rained. If actually my grandma told me if we had planted something, most probably it was carried away because it was a lot of rain.
It's really interesting. So now, one thing you need to know is that waterlogging is something. Flooding, waterlogging is something. When the water does not drain, and plants might get stressed out of that, and you need your plants to take up some very good nutrients so that it doesn't lose again through leaching, you know. So there is a product that can help you maneuver these flooding season, I would say, because the rainy season.
This is what actually farmers wanted, but now it can overburden them.
Exactly.
Because now it's coming like it's a lot of rain.
Yeah. So now we have a product by the name Mega Kelp from Omnia. So once you apply that in your farm, it's soluble, 100% soluble. Once you apply that, it ensures that your root density, the root density of your crop, does really expand. So it means that it can take up more nutrients from the soil, take up more water, and retain some water. Of course, and now the stress is cured. I would say that
the plant stress is actually curable.
Exactly.
It is a cure.
Yeah, exactly. So plant stress has a cure. So we say good roots, good plants, good health,
produce, good health, good produce.
Exactly.
Yes.
So of course I'm going to take a short commercial break. We'll be back with more on what you need to consider before going the value addition way.
Celery is a marshland plant that comes from the same family as carrots and parsley. It has long, firm and pale green fibrous stalks and grows in bunches of approximately 8 to 10 centimeters. The stalks taper into leaves at the top. When planting celery, it's best to ensure that the soil is enriched with compost and with a soil pH of between 5.8 to 6.8. It is also important for celery to grow in moisture-retentive soil. Lastly but not the least, select a site that receives full and direct sunlight. Celery needs about 130 to 140 days to mature between seedling and harvest. Growing celery is generally considered to be an ultimate vegetable gardening challenge. It's easy to grow, but has very specific needs. Agriculture is the art and science of cultivating the soil, growing crops, and raising livestock. Agriculture provides most of the world's food and fabrics. It is not only a source of food and income, but also creates employment opportunities for many people in the world. Over 1 billion people worldwide work in agriculture, generating 2.4 trillion for the global economy. The global impact of farming on the environment is revealed that 40% of the Earth's land is now given over to agriculture. Agricultural development is one of the most powerful tools to end extreme poverty, boost shared prosperity, and feed a projected 9.7 billion people by 2050. And we, the AFarmers Media, roll the carpet for you as we welcome you to our thrilling farm visits to different farmers that educate and inspire you in different sectors in agriculture. Catch us also on our shows on all our social media platforms as we bring you educative and informative information that will help you learn and guide you on your agriculture journey to success. Our farmers attain knowledge and grow profits. Amaranthus, or locally known as terere, is a highly nutritious vegetable that is cultivated and consumed as a leafy vegetable in many parts of the world. It's easy to grow, matures fast, as it takes an incredible shorter period than most traditional crops. There are many species of amaranthus, with some green and others red in color. When growing amaranthus, ensure the soil is well drained and rich in phosphorus, and most importantly, ensure the seeds are well distributed to achieve an even spread when establishing a grain amaranthus field. Amaranthus is especially loved for its tender leaves and for their healthy dose of ions, vitamins, and a range of minerals. Beetroot is a highly nutritious root vegetable. The beetroot is the taproot portion of a beet plant. It is one of the many varieties of the genus Beta vulgaris, all of which are mostly grown for their edible taproots and leaves. Beetroot is a root crop that takes approximately 3 to 4 months to mature. Beetroot is a fairly easy crop to grow as long as the soil is well cultivated prior to planting. Beetroots do not enjoy wet, boggy, or shady soils. Beetroot can be sown in trays and transplanted when the seedlings have 2 true leaves. Plant in full sun, space seedlings 10 to 15 centimeters apart, and rows 20 centimeters to 30 centimeters apart so they have room to grow. Beetroots are also ideal for containers or raised beds. Beetroots will happily thrive in small areas as long as there is at least 20 centimeters depth of soil. Beetroot has been used not only for food but also for treatment for numerous conditions.
Welcome back to Farm Drive here at AFarmers Media. Mercy, welcome back.
Thank you. Welcome back to the Farm Drive show.
Here at AFarmers Media, of course.
Yes, here at AFarmers
and of course,
Media.
Before we did take a short commercial break, we were talking about value addition.
Yes.
And some of the considerations
Crossing
we need to
the
have.
bridge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we have a bridge here. We just have this bridge that we need to cross.
Yes.
Yes.
And of course, as we said, value addition and farming must be taken as two different entities. Even if there might be some motivation behind, doing value addition by yourself, you need to consider some of these things
before
going the value addition way.
Journey.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a journey.
Exactly.
Yes.
Of course, to drive you through this conversation is me, Brian Wonder.
And me, Mercy Kemunto.
Exactly. And of course, this is the second half of this show.
Yes, and thank you for joining us.
Yes.
We are live right now on Facebook.
On Facebook.
And also on YouTube. You can also find us on other social media platforms at AFarmers on Instagram and Twitter.
Of course. And before we did take a short commercial break, Mercy, we're talking about, we were giving Mirara an alternative.
An alternative, yes.
An extra income-making venture, value addition. And once he has done producing eggs, so what next? He can sell at farm gate. He can decide to even package and do a few things and take it to the market, to supermarkets, of course, maybe to maybe wholesale shops. You can also decide to take to retail shops. And we were talking about understanding the market first
thing, and understanding the market. You can get some, actually farmers have like really good produce that should be in the supermarket.
Yes.
And when they reach to the shelves in the supermarket, the price goes a little bit higher. But now I think the challenge comes in when getting the chance to be one of the suppliers in this supermarket.
Yes.
And a farmer ends up selling their product in just the local markets, and that's just, let's say, a loss, because your yields are good, they are captivating, they are like, if you look at them, they're like perfect, and this is the type of maybe boga or eggs that I want. But now the problem is, now the farmer did not understand the market.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything is done perfect, but now you end up selling it with a good quality of your produce. You sell them at a loss, not a loss, but the price that are not worth it.
Yes. So we did talk about ensuring that your market prices are competitive on the shelves, ensuring that your branding is well attractive from a farcery, and of course understanding the competitive edge you have above your competitor,
and being consistent.
Yes, very important. Now we did also talk about the logistics bit of it. Of course, if you're not selling at your place, I would say at the location of the premises, and you're taking to maybe supermarkets, you need to know now. For example, zikibebwa na tuk kidogo labda kunaweza kuwa na maneno.
Zikibebwa na bike.
Kimbia kuja kuchukua ati market consistency.
Yako like nataka kurudi narudi saizi kuchukua zingine, so exactly. You have to put some things into consideration.
Absolutely. So you need to understand how you're going to transport.
Yes.
And some of those factors during transportation you need to consider. Maybe if it's fresh produce, know that maybe there is some temperatures that are meant for that. Exactly. So hazitaribika. That's why unaona gari ya miraa inakimbia sana. I don't know why, but
the reason. I've never known the reason why gari za miraa wanakimbia hivyo. And this was one of the questions that I wanted to ask you. Mbona gari za miraa was like this? You can think like wanakimbizwa or something, or they're in some sort of a race. Like ukianza kufika, there's a very huge prize that's to be won. So what is the reason? Why do miraa Probox or whatever they those why do they rush?
Mera zibebwa na Probox mazi.
Zibebwa na nini hizo?
Zenye zibebwa na Probox ni zinaitwa mogoka.
So we have
we're talking about serious pickups. I don't wanna make people from Embo feel a little bit inferior. But Mira coming from Meru, Maua, Look in specific. Maua is something I would say close to 100 kilometers from, I would say 80 kilometers from Meru town. And now Meru is close to,
let's say to
Lamu.
Because you usually send to Somali.
They take to Somali, Lamu, Mombasa, even Nairobi here. And
so you're doing Lamu.
Yeah, most of them are doing.
No,
Lamu.
let's do Somali.
Let's do Somali.
Yes.
Let's do Somali. Now, what happens once you want to take your produce to Somali? Once it's harvested, it's then packaged.
You package it.
Inawekwa labda kwa gunia ili isiende ikiwa inatapaka kila mahali. But then remember, ikiwa kwa gunia, this is fresh produce, so itaanza ku burn out. Understand now the market, as I told you,
how
people consume, how they want
consume, and how they want the product delivered.
Exactly.
Because you can't sell to me something that has burned out.
Exactly.
I can't buy it and it's my money.
Exactly. And what now they do is first zina transportiwa kwa pickup.
Pickups, okay, pickups not.
Do you know why the pickup?
I don't know. Because it's open huku nyuma.
First it's open. Second thing, it's fast.
Pickups are fast.
They're really fast. Those pickups over there are very strong. They maintain an average distance of, or an average speed of maybe 100 kilometers per hour or to 120 kilometers per hour. So what they do is that well, let me take you slightly away from the conversation. What they do is that kwa hawatakimbiza gari specific places, wanataka gai maintain level. So kuna mali itakanyaga 180, itakimbia 180, alafu irudi huku hadi 60. Now they know such things happen, but what they do, they always want to maintain 100 kilometers per hour. Reason being this. The distance between, kama unapeleka market ya Somali, know that first, let's now start thinking behind. Watu wanataka kukula miraa yenye iko fresh. What they always wish is that they can get it directly from the farm.
From the farm, like just harvest, give it to me.
So shida miraa ni iko fresh. Iko na some, it's still very, I would say very, once I say fresh, it has some water content that might accelerate the process of
the effect
decomposing ama kuharibika. So they always want it very fresh. Isikauke. So that's why zinakimbizwa ili the time enye gari tajazwa kutoka kwa harvesting, gari jazwe na ifikishwe hadi sasa kama ni Somali inaletwa hapa JKIA. So zinabebwa hadi hapo. So that's a distance of close to 3 hours, 4 hours. Actually, they always want to take 2 hours
before they start.
Actually, 2 hours kwa barabara.
2 hours from,
on a normal day,
2 hours from here, from Meru to from Moa to Nairobi.
Yeah,
JKIA,
they always want to take even 2 hours.
But now the traffic.
The shorter the time, the better. But again, remember that there are road users who are going to be there. Kuna walevi, kuna pia very different things.
Learners.
Yeah, of course. What you need to take them into considerations. That's why, funny enough, unapata gari zao zianguki sana. Ever know that? Na hiyo mbio yote inakimbia huwa zianguki sana. Actually, they say that normal road users cause more accidents than they do. Really interesting. So
it's interesting because of the speed. Because you're telling me like they have to maintain a constant.
Yeah, but they have to maintain a constant. If they dropped it by maybe 90 kilometers per hour or 70,
which means there's at some point somewhere they're going to add to 120
compensate to maybe 120
compensate for that
and maintain the 100 kilometers per hour. This is part of value addition, right? Because transporting alone is value addition. Did you know that?
Yes. No.
Logistics is part of value addition. As simple as it is. So if you're a farmer, you can sell at farm gate, one thing. Or you can decide to provide the transport and increase the price per unit or the whole product. So now, lazima ikimbizwa ifike in time, Nairobi, ipakijiwe, of course. Alafu bado unajua kuna safari ya kwenda Somali.
But plane is fast.
Yeah, the plane is fast.
An hour.
Exactly, I would say maybe 1.5 an hour.
30 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
Somali.
When that time ushafika Somali, And remember itatolewa, ita offloadiwa nini hizo vitu zote. And still time is going. It's not that zimesimama hiyo process ya kuharibika.
And the fact that pia zimefika Somali,
yeah,
as they sell at kwa airport,
yeah,
they have to be dispatched to different consumers.
Exactly. Now that's why they rush. That's what they do, rush.
Now I get it.
It's part of the science of value addition.
You understanding, how the market wants the produce delivered.
Exactly.
When you get to understand that, now you like calculate it backwards.
Yeah, calculate it backwards.
Now, if this is how you want, so you want the mirror fresh.
Yeah.
Enough to make in a span of less than 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like that's the minimum. If it's possible, you should actually do 3, but you're going to do maybe 4, 5 hours. So mirror in 5 hours.
Exactly.
From farm to me 5 hours.
Yes.
Okay, now they have to rush. Understand?
You understand?
Yes.
And quite interesting. Can I interest you that ikianza kuharibika inarudi?
Ikianza kuharibika, si ati imeharibika.
Actually, ikifika mahali yenye yezi consumiwa. Actually, once you do take more than 12 hours with that load, ishaanza kufika mahali yezi nobody can take it up. Because remember, it's taken raw.
So it has to
people are very conscious, very fresh. So well, ukicheza na market delay kidogo hivi
losses
zinarudi. Na remember, mlishanunulia watu, so pesa inarudi kwa logistics,
because you have to account for transportation and everything. You have some guys who helped you here and there, and this money you are expecting to get it back when this load of yours lands.
Yeah.
And now imerudishwa.
Yeah.
You cater for the transportation back.
Of course, first thing, they troubleshoot this way. Mbona ilichelewa? Is it from the maybe packaging bit of the airport, pale kwa airport?
Okay.
Maybe iliharibiki hapo. Kama si hivyo basi, maybe gari ilienda ikapata bust. But they can tell you one interesting thing. Gari ya mirror ikipata bust, they prioritize mirror kufika, si wa kadere.
Another form of transportation.
There's always exactly.
There's always option B.
There's always a pickup that's
standby.
Exactly.
So wewe utapeleka OC after immigration
offloadiwa. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Wakati ishaenda.
I see.
Yeah. So and so much fresh produce that is transported on our Kenyan roads. You know? And you see, that small bit alone, you know, many people, many investors always prefer coming at the logistics bit of it. Because you can somehow control that. It's not so prone to high risk, and you can it makes money. It's as simple as that. So people are looking into businesses where there is less risk, less involvement on very many processes, money output.
Yeah.
So pickup moja itakurudishia so much, more than even 50k.
Just one pickup.
Yeah.
Kwa airport.
One trip, you're gone. 50k past
airport.
Exactly. These people do sell off their pickups. One pickup does buy another one after 1 year. Yeah, it's ready to roll.
Okay, I see. So
yeah,
should visit Meru. So
well,
something added to my bucket list, please. Viewers, if there's anyone who can accommodate me, I want to visit Meru.
Now that's not the definition of logistics. Once you talk about logistics, understand how fresh your produce need to be while being to the end consumer. So it's not about eggs alone. There are flowers that are there, there are vegetables.
Delicate and everything, and they have.
Can I interest you one more? They're mostly transported over the night.
Flowers?
No. Hata mirapike. Do you know why? I think it's common sense.
Condition, exactly. The sun. So it's lessens the process of decomposition.
Exactly. Above that, it's easy to access Kenyan roads at night.
Oh, true. Because there's no way you're going to tell me you're going to maybe get from Meru at around 2, not let's say 2, 3. That means you're going to be in Nairobi at 6. No, let's 3, 4. You're from Meru, so it means at around 7 you're in Mombasa Road. Trying to reach JKA.
Actually,
you can be stuck there for more than 2 hours.
You can be.
You have to now it's calculating your process backwards, knowing that if this plane lands in Somali at this time, which means this load of mine should be in the airport at this time. So at what time am I getting? And inafaa iland ama itoke wakati hakuna traffic, so it's at night.
That's what apata maybe hata miraa ina harvestiwa kajioni. Jioni at around
package time kisonga.
Exactly. Kitu kama by saa 2, saa 3, saa 4 gari shanza kurudi. By 12 ishafika JKI ama kitu kama hiyo. Exactly. Jamaa anadishi anarudi. It's really interesting. Those are people who understand the art of value addition, logistics bit of it.
Because at night the road is just like clear. Even if there's some other road users, but it's clear, so you can maintain your constant speed.
So exactly, those are some of the final things that you need
to understand also.
On logistics. Now talk about the proximity of your location to the market.
Then that can be actually kuna venye proximity and logistics zina meet somewhere.
Exactly.
When you get to understand your market, how they want it, what time, how fresh is it, and the I'm looking for this word.
The urgency.
The urgency of the product. Now you get to understand, okay, I'm a little bit far from my market, so I need to figure out something. I need to come up with a solution. Because you need money, you always need to come up with a solution.
Yes. And once you think about that, and once you talk about proximity to the market, you also need to consider there's something they call opportunity cost. So there are two things. You either can set up a production plant close to the market, or and then reduce on logistics, or you can decide
to set up
close to your farm, away from the market, but then invest
more on logistics.
Opportunity cost. So weigh on the two. Opportunity cost is more of the I would say the cost that comes with the alternative
that you choose.
Exactly.
And before settling on one, you have to calculate. Because you even if at the end of the day you have to be business minded and get the money, doesn't mean that you do something or invest because you have the money. You need to get more money, so just check which is reliable and which is less expensive.
Exactly. And one interesting factor is did you know that and I think one day you're gonna notice this, that very many companies nowadays they don't care about the location of the plant or even where they do their value addition, basically. Where they do the processing and stuff like that, because it's one of the big things that I would say the government has done. Go big on infrastructure. You see, creating a conducive environment. For example, you in Kitengela, you have an option of living in Kitengela and work at Kitengela. There's an opportunity cost of that.
And I have an option of living probably in Rongai and working in Kitengela.
And maintaining there. There's an opportunity cost of that. And one can be cheaper than the other. It's up to you to make the decision how and when.
And it can also be expensive investing in the other one.
Exactly.
You have to put in a lot more effort in investing. For example, if I want, for example, it's just simple logic. If I choose to live in Kitengela and work in Kitengela, that means I have to put a lot of money aside for me to be able to move from Rongai to Kitengela.
Actually, no worries. What you need to think is maybe options now of leasing land, buying land, what's cheaper. In the long run, the goals, how long do you want to be there? Of course, all those factors of production that you need to think about location as itself. So once you do talk about location, also remember maybe if it's, for example, maybe it's something that if it's maybe, for example, growing flowers or maybe even vegetables, right? And you want to do some value addition in there.
Really fast perishable.
Yeah, fast perishable. Think about even the accessibility of your location to the farm or to the market. Well, barabara yenu, MCA, MP, governor amefanya kitu. Yeah, exactly. Kama hajafanya, of course now you need to think about coming closer to, of course, the
market.
To the market. Or you might suffer some costs, as we say, opportunity cost, of going the alternative of coming kukandani mashinani. Exactly.
And you producing and everything, getting ready and transporting it to the market.
Exactly. So that's why I don't know. I don't want to be misquoted for this. That's why you see some parts of this country have large infrastructure, and this has been translated to even the wild within
that area,
those areas, those regions. And once you do big on infrastructure, electricity,
and everything, then
barabara,
investors
exactly,
and everything are going to like
exactly
seek location in such kind of places.
Yeah.
Because in snow you're going to tell me to invest somewhere mali naingia gari inaweza kwama, I have flowers that should be in the airport in the next 2 hours before they perish or something. So you get to understand that I'd rather put more in or invest more and move to this location where the roads are quite okay, and ensuring that I'm not getting any losses because of maybe delay of my goods getting to the market.
Exactly. So that's why you need a very good administrative, I would say, well, administrative setting around you. Well, do you have some good infrastructure? Uko na stima, uko na maji pia.
It's important.
Very important.
But there's some things that can actually hinder you from your production.
Exactly.
Let's say you're producing something that requires constant supply of water, and maybe your area na maji kidogo, it's not working really well.
Yeah.
So you need to put this into consideration and realize that if I'm going to set up this production place, means that there should be water constantly.
Yeah.
And if not, I'd rather get another option.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that very many people in, for example, where we are, where we've been facing some shortage of water, are going to consider, can I go to Kitengela and, for example, invest in maybe, for example, cheaper ways of water irrigation alternatives. For example, kama ni drip, kuna tanks, watu wamenunua tanks mingi
sana, because water has been water is one thing that you cannot run away from. It's compulsory, you need it, so you have to find a way of getting to it.
So you need to consider all these things, and then above that, remember, for example, where you have chicken, you have so much waste in terms of maybe chicken waste and all that. Kama ni ng'ombe ama nguruwe, unajua kuna uchafu mingi nakuja. So you need to understand even the waste disposal strategy for that. Is it friendly? Ukiweka nguruwe tao bala, dispose the waste aje.
Yes.
You see? And
those to cows, them to just this livestock and everything. But location. You need to understand the location and what you're dealing with.
Exactly. So understand the location well, understand the opportunity cost that comes with it. Then now about that, understand the machinery that is used. Well, some of these machinery you're not going to compromise on them.
Leave alone compromising. You cannot set up a factory where there is a residence people are living, because one way or another you're going to be evacuated.
The policies around setting up such industrial
so you have to understand well machinery. Do they make noise? No, they're just quiet. You can't even know there's something going on here. So fine, I should go ahead and do this. But if there are these machines that maybe are making noise and everything, or actually even leave alone they're making noise, you found a very good place, water, everything is checked. Now you have to invest in good machines. You
have to invest in good machines. And well, even above that, how are the temperatures around there? Well, but can I interest you a little bit? That it's perceived that, for example, now the farming that, for example, I would say that I've interacted with, pigs don't love so warm temperatures. They love not so cold.
To me, when you don't wash your pigs.
Not so cold.
Just normal temperatures.
Normal temperatures. In between, I would say.
Breeze.
Yeah, with some sort of a breeze. Because remember, pigs have a fat layer content. And they heat up. And, animals have different ways of expressing themselves. They might, wanaweza enda mali, maybe wanaweka waste, wana roll hapo. I notice some of them do that.
Your pigs do so.
There's one in specific that does that because it's big and it burns up.
So it
sana sana wakati kulikuwa na jua.
Waste and then goes and
so inaenda hapo kwa sababu waste iko na kabaridi fulani zaidi ya nje. So that's why they roll there.
So does that explain why pigs do roll in the mud?
Part of it, yeah.
Partly.
Kwa sababu ya joto. They want to cool off.
So if you decide to be like washing them. Nzike timetable asubuhi na jioni mnaoga. Mtoka mchana sababu ndio kuna jua na naosha na maji baridi.
Exactly. So before you can think about taking pigs to Lodwar.
Okay.
Think about that.
The temperature.
Yeah, think about the temperatures. Kabla hujapeleka ng'ombe kwa baridi nyingi. Unajua baridi, yeah, exactly. Baridi in affect even milk production.
It does.
And
I don't know, I should watch a lot of farming documentaries, but it didn't affect milk production.
Yeah, can interest you. In the cold seasons, there's less milk production countrywide because of that. Ng'ombe anafeel baridi. So he loses so much energy on heating up.
Self-warm.
Exactly. So instead of, for example, converting that energy
to producing milk.
Exactly. So that's why he does that. So, well, it's part of the things we're going to talk about sometime soon. What the long rains are going to affect maybe crops and animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how you need to prepare for that. Yeah. So exactly. So of course, these are some of those final details that, well, we keep on saying.
And you and our pig farm over here. So
well,
do big pigs have milk?
Yeah.
Do pigs have milk?
For their piglets, not for you, not for humans. No, Mercy, no. You're not going to make pigs, I wouldn't have come on as a
come move over here.
Come closer.
At first when I found out that actually you can have ngamia milk, I thought it's weird. So I'm trying to think like.
So it's a world full of possibilities, right?
Yeah, it's a world full of possibilities. Maybe your pigs are producing milk. You can deliver them to me.
Can I interest you? Nguruwe pekee atapatia piglet. Hata ukimkamua atatoa. It's a natural instinct, I think so.
Haiwezi toa tuseme maybe the piglet ni mgonjwa and it's just a newborn and it's not able to.
It's very easy.
It's easy, so you find out a way of feeding it.
Tafuta a way of feeding the piglet.
Okay.
Lakini hata akiwa mgonjwa aje atakunywa.
You can try it out and then
unacheza na nguruwe.
Nguruwe can, like the way cows react to maybe kama zimechokozwa or they've been offended, like it can decide maybe to kick you or hit you with them.
Or they get
horns.
Angry.
Do they get angry and decide to like?
Yeah, most of when they are new mothers, or even old mothers, but as long as they have a litter, a piglet zao zinaitwa litter, so inaweza fanya kitu yote. Inaweza hadi kuji ikukimbize huko ndani sana. The mother instinct is quite strong.
And you're not even thinking of maybe touching the piglet.
Ukiguza karibu hivi tu. Hey.
Just like chickens.
Kwanza kaka ingaka anataka kupiga kelele.
Then that's it.
Hey. Somehow. It's as if they communicate.
With the mother.
Yeah.
Like I'm in danger.
Yeah.
Or
kuna sauti yenye itatoa cooperate feeds yenye umekea. Kuna sauti yenye itatoa wakati iko in pain. Kuna sauti yenye mama atatoa wakati anataka kubreastfeediwa. Kuna sauti yenye watoto watatoa wakati wako njaa.
Na wakati uko sawa.
Well, yeah. Na wakati wanacheza.
Okay, now understanding your products.
So you
this is understanding your, not your produce or it's your crops. Not understanding your pigs. Okay, I see.
Anyway.
I see. The way
Things
you
around that.
understand that your crops have stress and now it's pigs. It's actually a little bit fascinating and everything and looks fun. But now the part of kukugonga, it's now where we draw the line.
Of course. Well, it's just like human beings. Once you trigger, I think everything has some sort of
actually every mother
reaction, protection.
Probably
and
mother sana.
Mother sana.
Yes.
And try to imagine, animals that do not react to pain, insecurities, they would be very much vulnerable, even to external factors. So while
they
it's
have
a natural
to
instinct,
natural instincts
to protect
I'm
themselves.
Learning.
And of
I'm
course,
learning.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to take a short commercial break, but before then, one quite interesting thing is that right now there are very many pests and diseases that will come out of these rains.
Yeah,
most of the
actually.
Yeah, exactly. Most of the arid and semi-arid areas, the pests and disease pests that the mutate.
Oh, jua, the conditions and everything.
Yeah.
Now that the environment and the weather is a little bit accommodating, now they come back.
Yeah, they'll come back.
And so zinakuja ziki in big numbers because they're mutating.
Exactly. So now I know farmers are going to use pesticide to do some of them.
A lot.
And once you start handling pesticide, it's always good to understand a few basics. And
to take care of yourself.
Exactly.
And the people around you.
Exactly. So always wear personal protective equipment when handling pesticides.
This includes
very important.
The aprons.
Yeah, exactly.
The eye masks.
Yeah.
The gloves.
Exactly. Yeah. And of course, always use the dose or the amount and volume application rate of pesticide stated. Right quantities, good results.
But with the current, because the pesticides are becoming more, maybe a person might think that if I use more, they die all of them at once.
Hey, but did you know that unaweza mwaga hivi tu, and then kama ulikuwa unaekea mbwa wenyewe pesticide, pia wako wanapitia hapo. Yeah, that brings us to the next point. Ensure that it's well applicable to the specific target that you want to do.
Okay.
Exactly right. Kama ni paka, ensure that paka wako wamefungiwa kwanza.
Before you decide to kill.
Other external factors. Always request for the appropriate measuring equipment when purchasing pesticide. It's very important. So
and ensure that your animals don't actually go to the farm.
Yeah.
This should be logic, even apart from the time of applying.
Yeah.
Pesticides every time, just you secure your farm.
Exactly. Always ensure you buy the correct amount of pesticide, as you said, and then attend available trainings on good agricultural produce practices and pesticide use in your county. Again, counties have the role of being involved in pest and diseases around the county by offering maybe extension officers
trainings. How to use the pesticides,
all those
take
things.
care of yourself.
Exactly. So these are some of the proper pesticide handling techniques that Markup and UNIDO have set aside for farmers to always know.
Yeah, dawa bora mazao bora.
Dawa bora mazao bora. We take this short commercial break. We'll be back with more.
Yes.
The final stretch.
The final stretch. Yeah,
exactly.
Final lap.
All right.
Eggplant is an elongated shaped and dark purple fruit, and its leaves are large, ovate, and slightly lobed. Eggplant is a perennial crop but grown commercially as annual. Eggplant grows best in well-drained sandy loam or loam soil. The soil pH should be between 5.8 and 6.5 for best growth. Eggplant requires a regular watering and steadily warm growing conditions. A nursery bed is a small area of a yard or garden that's used for growing certain selected plants. The goal of a nursery bed is to grow young plants to a certain size at which they can be easily transplanted. A nursery bed can also be used to evaluate plants to see if they are worthy of planting in the larger garden, to observe their growth, habit, and color, or watch them for pests and diseases. A nursery bed is especially helpful for vegetable gardeners practicing succession in planting, in which a steady supply of fresh produce is maintained. Spinach is a dark leafy vegetable that originated in Persia. Spinach is a superfood as it is loaded with tons of nutrients in a low-calorie package. Spinach has been used by various cultures throughout the history. Spinach is a versatile vegetable and can be eaten raw or cooked. It can be incorporated quite easily in any diet as it is cheap and easy to prepare.
Mahindi yamekuwa chakula kikuu katika sehemu nyingi za ulimwengu na jumla ya uzalishaji wa mahindi kuliko ile ya ngano au mchele. Mbali na kuwa mahindi ni chakula, pia hutumiwa kutengeneza ethanoli, chakula cha wanyama na bidhaa zingine. Kunayo mahindi ya gume, mahindi ya ganda, yani popcorn, mahindi ya unga na mahindi matamu. Mahindi yanalimwa sana kote ulimwenguni na kiwango kikubwa cha mahindi hutolewa kila mwaka kuliko nafaka nyingine yoyote. Shamba la mahindi linaweza kutayarishwa kwa kutumia njia za kawaida au za kilimo cha uhifadhi. Kilimo cha kuhifadhi ni pamoja na kunyunyizia dawa za kuulia wadudu zilizopendekezwa na wataalamu wa kilimo. Unaweza kutumia trekta au njia ya mikono kufanya kilimo cha mahindi. Ni muhimu kuandaa ardhi mapema ya kutosha kuruhusu magugu kukauka na kuoza kabla ya kupanda.
the art and science of cultivating the soil, growing crops, and raising livestock. Agriculture provides most of the world's food and fabrics. It is not only a source of food and income, but also creates employment opportunities for many people in the world. Over 1 billion people worldwide work in agriculture, generating 2.4 trillion for the global economy. The global impact of farming on the environment is revealed that 40% of the Earth's land is now given over to agriculture. Agricultural development is one of the most powerful tools to end extreme poverty, boost shared prosperity, and feed a projected 9.7 billion people by 2050. And we, the AFarmers Media, roll the carpet for you as we welcome you to our thrilling farm visits to different farmers that educate and inspire you in different sectors in agriculture. Catch us also on our shows on all our social media platforms as we bring you educative and informative information that will help you learn and guide you on your agriculture journey to success. Our farmers attain knowledge and grow profits.
Very good afternoon. Actually, it's evening. Dear farmer, dear farmer, everybody is listening and watching us. This is Africa Farmers Media, and of course,
We Connect Learn and Grow.
We Connect Learn and
As
Grow.
always.
The show is
Farm Drive.
Farm Drive. Of course, we're very proud of you to be part of this conversation. We're talking about value addition, and of course, I'm here thinking. We did talk about everything, understanding the market, logistics, and everything, but well, there's something we didn't talk about. Thinking now about everything. Is it worth
Everything, like everything is checked. Like your check-off list is good.
Yeah.
Now you are here.
Yeah.
Like putting all these things into one thought.
Yeah. Is it worth it? Is it worth doing with a small scale? Or is it worth collaborating with other people?
Or is it worth doing it alone?
Yeah.
You can actually do it alone,
exactly.
but now it's a risk. You have to invest a lot before being back on your feet again.
Exactly. And this was part of the main objectives of cooperatives, that they can, apart from selling milk together, they can go market it out there together. So instead of taking your 20 liters to the market, you could meet up as very many people, take your 100 liters out to the market, even 1,000 liters, I would say, but then leave it to somebody who knows the art of marketing. So farmers already have been doing value addition; they don't know about that, but then not at a personal level, maybe at cooperative level. But now, quite a few people will consider doing it as very many, quite a number. Because of the quote-unquote economics of scale. Well, transporting 20 liters might be the same cost as transporting 100 liters.
100 or 1,000 liters. Maybe the same car.
Yeah. So
but now you join together.
Exactly. Once you
find
join
a
hands,
marketer to your milk.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, once you talk about that, it's always very good to consider the general cost of that. Maybe transporting 1,000 liters might be cheaper per unit compared to transporting maybe 10 liters, because while maybe mtaongeza gari kubwa kidogo, but then cheaper price per unit ya transport milk. So it was one of the major roles of cooperatives when they started being formed, where they could, apart from advocating for their own issues and doing savings and stuff,
they would come together.
They will come together,
put their
market it,
milk, and market it.
And market it. So right now we've seen people do venture in yogurt, for example, doing their own yogurt. Then before you can decide to go the yogurt way, as
because yogurt is value addition.
Yeah, yogurt is value addition by itself. It's always good to know that you need to understand your niche. What do you stand best in? Maybe kutengeneza yogurt, is it cheese? Is it maybe
powder?
The powder itself.
The powder itself.
What can you do best?
And what works for you?
Exactly.
Whatever you have.
Yeah. And the little time that I've been doing the small thing that I've been doing, I've learned that for business you need to feel it.
Then if you're not feeling it, you're not on the right track.
If you're not feeling it, well, that might be hard for you. You need to feel, ukifika kwa market, you feel that your presence is there. Ukikuwa pale ndani ya maybe ukiwa unaekea maybe kuku zako, you understand that leo nimezi feed na hizi feeds na formulation ndo hii, this is what I'm expecting within the first week, second week, na market by day, okay, hizi kuku kama unataka kuziuza kama jogoo, so you need to understand, you need to feel it, that maybe zina grow at this rate, na nikichange feeds, you know, formulation inaweza change, and maybe formulation moja ilikuwa na supplements, nyingine iko na supplements, and what's the effect it's going to have. You can do so much research
and understand everything, what works
understand
for you,
everything,
research and feel.
Now you need to
be
feel
there.
it.
Be there, like be
now
there.
You need to feel it.
Don't do it as a business.
Yeah.
Do it, enjoying it.
Yeah.
Then
enjoying
this
it.
way, you're going to like come out, like get your yields better.
Yeah.
Because you're enjoying what you're doing. You're not just doing it for the sake of doing. It's just like, for example, washing clothes. You just wash clothes because you just wash them because unafaa kuosha. It means hazitangara.
Yeah.
But just wash clothes because these are your clothes and you want to stand out. You wearing them.
Yeah.
This means now they're going to come out clean.
Exactly.
The same way too. Now, farming and everything.
Yeah.
You have to be there, feel it, understand everything. Just don't be ule mtu wa kupiga simu. Hey, how my chicken's doing? Just go there, understand you. Actually, if you're really, let's say cows, they have this art of knowing you're the owner or something.
Cows can interest you, but they're the cows which listen to music. Cows listen to music. Did you know that?
No.
Music is always a very good relaxing.
For cows.
Yeah.
So
it's
if
a very
I
good
go
strategy
to my
for
grandma's place,
relaxing.
I try and put some music too.
Yeah. But I've seen quite a few farmers use music. They play some very music under. Wakati ng'ombe ina relax.
Okay. Ama wakati when you want to milk it.
Yeah.
That's why.
Ng'ombe confused.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, there's some of those small things. Well, one day we're going to talk about those quite interesting things in livestock keeping.
Don't consider.
Yeah.
But they are like.
Yeah, that's funny AOBs.
Hey, that's just funny that I'm going to put on music to cows to listen.
Yeah.
To relaxing.
And but the farmers will tell you this. Some even receive even a higher milk yield. Milk production.
When they play music.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Ng'ombe ina stress. You know, it's now coming back.
It's calming, so it's like.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's not stress.
Yeah.
It's relaxed.
Yeah. So it's some of those things you need to know the science. Now today we're talking about the business side of things now. Understanding the old value chain. Understanding alternative markets, because supermarket might fail, supermarkets close down. What's the alternative?
What is your alternative? Because you can't sit down and say, oh, market yangu ilida hivyo.
Yeah. And that's why every day I always believe that information is what differentiates farmers.
The information that you have.
Yeah.
There's some who do thorough research and get informed of what's trending, what's happening. And there's some who are just in the dark. Like vitu zina happen overnight and they're like, wait, what? The supermarket was closed? I didn't know. There's a farmer who knew this a month ago. So he has or she has a market ready. So if you close down, I'm going to my alternative market.
Yeah. All these people do think about that. It's always very good to think before. Actually, somebody told me that do the actual practice in your head before you can start doing it. Once you feel that you have it in your figured out
and everything,
it will be easy to implement. Unless I'm a firm believer of
thinking.
If you've been given 100 minutes, you can use even 70 or 80 minutes thinking about the best way to do it. Then think about the risk, everything.
Then 30 minutes.
30 minutes, do it. I thought you can even take less than 30 doing it. As long as you have the basic thing in your head.
And it's clear. It should come out clear. Because if you tell me to do something, there are two different kind of people. There are those who are told to do something and they have to sit down and think, how am I going to do it? And there's those who go straight to doing it. You get the person who thought through it actually does it better.
Exactly.
Than the person who went straight to doing it.
Yeah.
Because now anakosa anarudi tena.
Yeah.
Anakosa anarudi.
Yeah.
Time inamushia.
Yeah.
And now compared to the other person who actually sit down, thinks through and avoids all mistakes. Like all the mistakes there's a solution to them. So when they're doing it, when they experience such as maybe a challenge, they know what the solution is.
Exactly. So now those are some of the basic things you need to consider before you can go the value addition way. And no, it's a journey.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
It's a journey. It's a hectic journey.
Then once you give it maximum concentration, just like any other business,
it's gonna come out successful.
It's better.
Yes.
Than just selling at the farm gate. Wow, Mercy, that has been our conversation today.
Yes, it's been interesting, and I know some people have actually learned something.
Yeah, true. And I've also learned a few things in the process. Well, quite a few things. Well, alternatives, market might fail you. Look for alternatives Azali. But if it's for example, I'll give you my own something I did consume last week. Once your pigs are 3 months old, they're always disposed at 6 months. On the 3 months, anza kutafuta watu wa kuuzia mapema. Yeah.
So at 6 months, you'd sell
at 6 months, actually, you just seeing them go. You're not struggling to see the market.
How much piglets can one pig have?
It's all full of possibilities. Can give you even 2. Can give you even 20. Yeah. Some even give 22.
Say again, what do you need to start pig farming?
Yeah, do your calculations.
Okay.
So some might give you 2, some might give you 20. The one that might give you 2 might be something that maybe is not so, the breed is not so good. The age also inaweza kuwa mzee. Inafika point wakati imefika peak, and then wakati imekuwa mzee inaanza kushuka. All the things you need to know. Well,
I've also learned that.
Yeah, so
don't change your branding. Sana, if you're to change, notify your audience, notify your customers, notify your consumers.
Yeah.
Because tunachanganyikiwa huko nje.
Do you know very many companies sana we saw one manufacturer or bread. Wakati ali change package, ali advertise almost everywhere.
Yes.
Because they know
we're coming back different this time. We're doing things different. The packaging is different. I remember back some years back, even what's this brand for Polish kiwi? When they were changing their look, they had to advertise and tell their consumers that we are changing to this. So if you go to our supermarket and find this is how it looks like, don't be confused. Now that's the new us. That way is much better than just changing overnight and me waking up to finding a totally different branding and not branding, packaging.
But as we even wind up, of course, on today's topic, did you know that, and I think as farmers we need to be cautious of some of these things, that many different sectors, apart from farming, really understand how the people do consume. They really understand.
They can actually tell if some customers didn't buy their goods particular day.
Exactly. That's what utaona kuna pombe yenye imekuwa 100 grams, nyingine 200 grams, nyingine mzinga mzima. You know? They're targeting different people, selling different thoughts. But ukiingia, well, I don't totally do consume alcohol, but then I've spent time with some of these marketing people of theirs, and they explain to you how different types of alcohol do target different types of people. Pombe yenye unaweza kunywa, the younger brand will take is not the one the brand right now is going to take, and it's not the one that brand who is 50 years is going to take for some reason. And even they also understand how much you earn, how much you're willing to give out, and when do you consume it. That's why kuna ile kale kakubeba kwa gari, for example, ama kuna ile ya pale kwa klabu, and they really understand, and
they understand how the market consume
everything.
And when something goes wrong, they can actually tell.
They're always on their toes. They really understand. And my question has always been, if we farmers do understand how our people do consume,
and how consumers do actually take our produce, then you could be doing could be very far.
We'll be very competitive with different sectors. Even if we are not direct competitors, we'll be very competitive. Yep. So, Mercy, of course, the last segment of this show inakuwaga A or B.
Any other business.
Any other business. And of course, any other business for Farm Drive is always some news of what has been happening over the day, directly affecting or indirectly affecting you as you wait for, of course, your primetime news somewhere else. But actually, the day started with some breaking news where the High Court Judge Beatrice Duranera Jaden, passed on last night. She's judge of the High Court. So the Judiciary Service Commission did
in the morning
confirm that.
Okay.
So that was some news that did bring in quite a few emotions. It did revoke a few emotions. While remaining at the corridors of justice, the Supreme Court has also said that it's going to deliver a BBI judgment on Thursday, 31st of March.
That's this week. This Thursday.
So there was a petition that was done, was filed in front of the Supreme Court, following high courts and the Court of Appeals decisions. Actually, more of the Court of Appeals decision to I would say to put a halt on BBI. So now the Supreme Court has there was a case that was presented in front of the Supreme Court. Once the ruling was done in the Court of Appeal, it did leave quite a few things open. Like, for example, in one of the rulings that was given is that the president can be impeached. Actually, no, not impeached, but then the president can be taken on further legal measures, according to anybody who wants to do that, because he did I would say he proceeded in a process that was not constitutional, according to the Court of Appeal and High Court. Actually, those are two judgments that were hand to hand. So they left some of these legal loopholes in there. Here they call it lacuna, something of the sort. So they also say that the presidency, for example, in specific, Uhuru Kenyatta did this unconstitutionally. So, and once a president does something unconstitutionally, it's I would want to think that it's always good to have maybe the Attorney General looking into some of these loopholes, because political interest. So it's one of those BBI judgments that are going to be given on 31st March. That's the last day of March. Still on the same. Now, the court has freed 16 border riders arrested over molesting a Zimbabwean diplomat after the DPP said no case has been disclosed against them. While this forest road assault, now
there's no case.
Quite a few people when you walikuwa arrested, there's no case.
Okay, so.
Yeah. So, ladies, hold on to that thought.
Some people are going to talk and have this case again
But remember,
opened.
there were very many people who were
They were not
arrested.
So they went filtering.
Yeah. So of course, there was the main suspect who was arrested just the other day. But
The other
above that,
16,
the others who were, exactly.
they've been freed.
Now some of them have been freed. 16 border riders have been freed. So this is a build-up of the Forest Road assault. And of course, some other news that broke 4 hours ago is that Ezekiel Mutua, the former CEO of course, You wanna say what?
It's just something of the scene. Just finish the statement and then I tell you.
Of course, he's called the moral cop.
Yeah.
I think they call him that. He's the guy who did ensure that some of the films that were produced, the scripts were put in place in the film industry.
The film industry. He's
So
been
now,
taken to the music industry.
Exactly. Close to 1 year. I would say not 1 year, but close to 6 months down the line. Now he has landed another job as a CEO of the Music Copyright Society of Kenya.
I wanted to say, like, people, like someone commented that in Kenya we make 2 steps forward and 10 steps backward.
I don't want to say anything about that, but
Let's just leave it at there.
yeah. So now those artists who thought that Mutua was done, well,
They yet to experience it.
yeah, they had to experience it, of course.
Yes.
And of course, the Music Copyright Society of Kenya is the MCSK. So there will be you can anticipate
Changes.
some action hapa na pale.
We'll be waiting.
Yeah.
Just a lot of back left and just seeing
Back
what's
left, and
happening.
you're
You
the
don't have the
Lupita.
voice. You
You're
don't have
the
the
Lupita
voice.
in the whole whole
Yes, I'm
scenario.
like,
Oh, wow.
just be watching what it was. Yes.
Of course,
Just be the Lupita here now.
yeah, exactly. And of course, while we rush over this, now ODM chairperson John Buddy, has dropped out of the Homa Bay gubernatorial race, says that he will focus on Raila Odinga presidential campaign. So he's one of the key men of the Raila sect. So he said he wanted to be governor for Homa Bay, but then he has dropped out to focus on that, and he's the chairperson of ODM.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is there. And today has been that day where KCC has been KCP results have been released. Well, different reactions, of course. It's never easy.
And I thought that this time round maybe the first would be having 440, and the first candidate has 428 marks.
428.
Yes.
Wow. During your time, how many did get what? Who was the top?
I can't really remember. It's
The marks.
like the marks, but I think it was around 442.
400 and something.
45.
40 something.
Yes.
So this time, while things were a little bit hard.
It's 400. And actually, the new thing is this year we'll be having KCSE. That's November. We'll be having KCSE. We'll be having KCP, and we'll having the grade 6 doing their final year exams.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. Well, that's interesting,
So
guys.
those are 3 different national
Yeah.
groups of children and
Yeah.
kids doing exams.
Yes. And the take home was that 320 candidates in 7 centers had irregularities.
So they cancelled.
Yep. Of course, you know what happens.
Yeah, what happens?
320 guys.
Yes.
Some have not gotten their own results. And there was, I think, as we close up on this, is that there was transport was paralyzed as fuel shortages in Eldoret.
In Eldoret, yeah.
And parts, yeah, exactly.
People are stranded just the other day.
Yeah.
Because there's no fuel. Actually, the problem is the sellers. They were waiting for the prices to go higher for them to sell the fuel.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. Okay.
Because now the demand is high and the supply is like minimal. So they're trying to. They were waiting for the prices to at least go high, of which was supposed to be today. Don't know if it's today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then for them so as to increase the prices
Yeah.
to give out the fuel.
Yeah. So, well, that has been there. Well, it's really interesting People in Baringo, Nandi, Elgeyo Marakwet, Bungoma, and Turkana are the worst hit. So those are some of the news that we've been receiving here today. And of course, we'll always keep you updated with what comes in, and we'll always serve as the gatekeepers.
We are the gatekeepers.
We are the gatekeepers. Of course, we went up today's show by, well, looking at the Africa Farmers proverb of the day. Mercy, this is why you shine with this one, eh?
This is why I shine. This is why my star should shine. And our farmers proverb today says that don't let fear interfere. Don't let fear interfere.
Well,
like you have your idea, you have your plan, then you're like, I don't think I can do this.
Yeah.
I don't think I can do this. And now it takes you back to square one again.
Can I tell you one interesting thing? In risk, people who risk, it's not that they don't fear.
They fear, yes, but they don't accommodate it.
Yeah, exactly. They don't absorb into it.
They don't absorb it, yes.
Yeah. So, well, don't think that nobody fears. People do fear, and it's very important to always fear.
Just don't let it.
Just don't swim
let it in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So, Mercy, that has been it from Farm Drive today.
Yes.
It's been a good thing to have you again on the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome again and again.
I'll be. You might be seeing me here tomorrow.
Of course, yeah. Of course, thank you very much for being part of this show. And thank you very much for being part of the audience, watching and listening us from wherever you've been watching and listening us from different parts of this country, continent, and also the world.
Yes.
Different time frames, time zones. Thank you very much for being part of this conversation. And until tomorrow, same time, same place, we say continue consuming information, because it's the difference between you and the farmer you aspire to be.